Alright, here I got all my pistons. Got all the old bearings out. Now we're ready to put the new bearings in. Same thing as we did with the crank. Clean out the outside part of it with some brake cleaner or just some type of cleaner to get all the oil from it, because you know it just keeps it from rusting during packaging. And then we'll lube up all the bearings and start start putting the rings in. Once we have the rings in, we'll start putting them in the piston ring compressor. Then we'll start putting them in the block. The same thing with the crank bearing. These have the notch here, so it does here in the cap of the piston or the rod, and also on the rod itself it has a notch. Make sure those line up. And then the way these go in, there's a marking here that's gonna match the marking on the rod here. I believe it's here. Sometimes, yeah, you can't really tell, but the marking on the rod cap has to be linked up with the rod mark. So it has to be, you probably can't see it, but if you do, you can see why. This one has no markings. This one has a marking here, marking there. So make sure those line up. All right, now that we got all the bearings in, ACL bearings, we're ready to put the piston rings on. All right, so I got all the piston rings in, bearings are in. Now I'm gonna clock them and put them in the spring compressor. Whatever build you're doing, just make sure what the clocking of your piston is. That way you don't have no problems or have blow by. Also make sure to lube up the walls here of the piston, same as the cylinder walls. Just lube them up a little bit. That way they go in smooth. First piston already compressed. Let's put some lube in the bearing. Lube it up. Make sure the crankshaft is bottom dead center. All right. Get a hammer. First one's in. Get your bearing, lube it up. And make sure you remember the numbers or the markings on the rod. Put some assembly lube on this. Just so it'll be nice and lubricated. You can use regular oil as well. All right, I got all of the caps in, all the rod caps. All I gotta do now is torque it to spec, and we should be done. All right, the first torque, step one, is gonna be, I believe, 14 foot-pounds. Make sure you check your engine. Different engines are different torque specs. All right, the last and final torque is going to be 23 foot-pounds. Alright guys, they're all torqued down. Flip this over. Here it is. There they are. Bored out to 81.5 millimeters. Eagle rods, 9-pod pistons, ACL bearings, stock crank. Hopefully this video is helpful. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, just send me a message. Peace, guys.